So you want to become a hero. In this lesson, we're going to talk about what a hero really is, and you may find that you already are one. Before we begin, make a list in your mind or on a piece of paper of 3 to 5 of your personal heroes. Typically, when we think of heroes, we think of military heroes, or heroes in sports, or entertainment, or education even. Let's look at what a real hero is. As a decorated veteran, I know a number of military heroes, or people who are purported to be heroes in the military. In fact, 2 of my favorite heroes are Jerry Coffey and Charlie Plumb. Both were POWs in the Hanoi Hilton during the Vietnam War. Jerry wrote the preface, or the foreword, to my book on my Vietnam experience, so of course I lean toward military. But we also have heroes in other areas of our lives. As a professional speaker, after 5,000 presentations, I've met and shared the platform with people who are known as heroes because they have overcome obstacles. They are sports heroes, political heroes, people who have excelled in other areas. Let's see if we can figure out what a real hero is. The first hallmark of a real hero, in my experience, is none of them think they are a hero. None of them see themselves as heroes. To understand what a real hero is, let's use the letters in the word hero, H-E-R-N-O. The H stands for help. Real heroes are all about helping other people. It's not for self-gratification. It's not for edification of themselves. They saw a need and they jumped in and filled it. The E stands for encouragement. You see, a real hero will jump in and help a person, but they also want to encourage them so that person doesn't face that situation again, so that they can do things on their own going forward. One of the best examples of this is the Apple computer store, where you go in with a problem and the expert there, their genius, says, I can show you how to fix that. They never touch your computer. They talk you through and you do it. And as a result of that, you are encouraged to know you can do it in the future. So they help, they encourage, and through it all, they respect other people. They never lose respect for the people that they are helping. They don't think they are better than. They certainly don't think they are less than. What they're saying is, at one time or another, we all need some help. At any given time, I may need to depend on you. So they maintain respect. They help, they encourage, they respect others. And by others, what we mean is everyone. Despite their background, their ethnicity, their religion, the way they are dressed, the college they went to, none of that matters to a true hero. It doesn't matter what your background is. You're a person, I'm a person. This is my opportunity to help you. It's my opportunity to serve. So a real hero helps, encourages, and respects others. Take your mind back to July the 3rd, 1776. At that time, America was an occupied nation. The people who occupied this nation could impose any level of taxation, and they did. They could pass any kind of regulation they wanted to, and they did. They could confiscate property without compensation, and they did. And so the Americans got fed up with it. And then on July the 4th, 1776, that all changed. They initialized a document called the Declaration of Independence. We will now move forward on our own. If you want to know who the heroes were that stepped out and took on this challenge despite the inevitable danger to themselves and their families, you can see their signatures at the bottom of the document. But did you know that 5 of them were captured by the British, tortured, and killed? Did you know that nearly half of them lost all of their possessions and nearly 24 of them died in poverty? The people they had helped free were no longer serving them. So when we look at being a hero, there is a price to pay. Very few heroes come out unscathed, especially military heroes. The athletic hero worked a long time, and sometimes they carry bodily damage for a while just to go out and be the hero that they could be. So we take a little different look at heroes when we start looking at the price we have to pay. Do you still want to be a hero? Here's another story about a man who was in an occupied country. His country had been occupied by a rather brutal entity. The soldiers within the occupying country, now this is true of all situations, there are always bad soldiers, and they take advantage of the people that they are occupying. They don't respect them, they don't encourage them, they take advantage of them. They pillage, they steal. And in this man's case, he was a farmer who grew grapes and made wine. He had a huge vat as a wine press, but he had no grapes because the soldiers had come and taken his grapes. They had come and taken his possessions. They even came and took family members from his community. His wine press was so large that there was room in there for a garden, so one day he was in the wine press growing some food for his family, hoping the soldiers would never see it. He heard a voice behind him call his name and refer to him as a mighty man of valor. His response was, "Mighty man of valor, my family is the lowest family in this community, and I am the lowest in my family." It's almost a joke to call me a mighty man of valor. But because he stepped up as a hero, because he answered the challenge, his very name instilled fear in those people who had been taking advantage of him. Just the sound of his name put the soldiers in disarray. He initiated an armed force, and then he went out and conquered the enemy using one of the most primitive methods of guerrilla warfare. We now fight most of our wars with guerrilla warfare, but in those days it was primarily traditional. His name was Gideon. And what do we learn from his approach to being a hero? Let's look at how Gideon became a hero. Again, by using the letters in the word hero, H-E-R-O. For him, the H stood for humble. He never put himself out as a hero, as a manly man, or as a go-get-em with bayonets between his teeth. He was a humble man. Maybe you are a humble person. The E for him was expectations. Once he answered the call, once he decided, okay, I'm going to go forward with this, he was focused. He knew what his assignment was. He knew what he had to do, and that's true of most heroes. They see a situation, they see a scenario, and they know what has to be done, and they know they're the one that will have to do it. The H is humble. The E is expectations. The R is response. Heroes don't become heroes by not doing anything. Heroes become heroes by getting into the battle, by going into the fray, and by challenging the situation. The O is obey. Once he understood what his challenge was, what his situation was, he obeyed whatever happened on his way to achieving that objective. In corporations, there's a corporate goal. We're going to obey. That's what we're going to go for. We're not going to set our own goals. We're going to go there. We may take a different route from other people. We may have to bend the rules or get outside the box, but we are going to obey whatever objective the organization has set. So humility, expectation, being focused, responding, actually getting in the game, and obeying as many of the rules as we can, that's how we become a hero. Let's go back to 1776 and examine the heroes who signed the Declaration of Independence. Most of them were ordinary people. Some had land, some had farms, some had major homes, and most of them lost all of that. But they were heroes because they got into the game, they were ordinary people, and they never saw themselves as heroes. They never put themselves on a pedestal. They never claimed to be better than anyone else. They just felt there was a calling on their life to do what they were doing to set this country free. They didn't want to be on a pedestal, and today, guess what? There are people trying to pull them down off of the pedestals they were put on. Don't think that because you become a hero, you'll be a hero forever. Based on what you've learned so far about heroes, Go back to your original list. How many of them really qualify? Have you met those people? If you put a hero down that's a sports figure or some famous person, have you ever met the individual? And if you met them and they refused to have their picture made with you, or if they charged you for their autograph, would they still be your hero? You see, ordinary, everyday heroes are extraordinary heroes. There are no extraordinary people. There are only ordinary people doing things that other people perceive to be extraordinary, and helping others quite often is considered to be extraordinary behavior. Let me close with a letter that I received several years ago. This letter was handwritten. It was a page and a half long, and it opened up with this paragraph. You spoke to our company on a Saturday. Saturday is my day, so I had planned not to go to the meeting. But by the time that Saturday rolled around, my life was in such sorry shape that I decided I would go into the office that day and never go home again. I don't know what he meant, but that's what he wrote. He said, but during your presentation, you said this. He put it in quotation marks. He wrote it in all capital letters. He drew 2 lines under it. He said, it changed my life. And he went on for the rest of that page and half of the next page talking about the changes that had happened in his life. Let me tell you what's interesting about that. I never said it. I had never heard it. How could I possibly have said it? Here's the point. What people hear and what we say quite often is 2 different things. We are responsible for what we say. We are not responsible for what other people hear. You see, you have some powerful weapons in your arsenal. Weapons you can go out and defeat virtually any enemy. The primary weapon is truth. Truth will work. And how do we get truth out to other people? Words. Words are powerful bullets. Words can create. Words can destroy. Words can build up. Words can tear down. So as you look at the words you are using as a hero, are you using them to encourage others? Are you using them to help others? Are you using them to educate others? What are your words doing for other people? I would imagine right now there are folks out there who, if they hear this video or they see this video and they are asked at the end of the video, as I'm asking you, now write down the names of the real heroes in your life, past and present. Write down the names of the real heroes in your life. And don't be surprised if some other people are writing your name. Teach others.